Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Good to be here.
Today, we're really getting into something pretty special. The 2025 P758 Maverick truck.
The Maverick, yeah. It's definitely more than meets the eye.
Totally. And look, this isn't going to be your average quick review. We want to do a proper deep dive.
That's the plan. Because these modern vehicles, the Maverick especially, they're just packed with tech. So much sophisticated stuff, capabilities that people often just, overlook.
Right. Things you might not even know are there, or features you might really struggle to find, or figure out how to configure properly on your own.
Exactly. What you see at first glance, it barely scratches the surface of its full potential.
And that's our mission today, really, to give you that shortcut. We want you to walk away genuinely well-informed about the surprising stuff, the nuanced functions of this truck.
We're talking aha moments, practical tips, showing you how this truck goes way beyond just getting from A to B.
So the theme, really, is how all these kind of hidden or complex features actually boost your safety, your convenience, performance, the whole user experience.
It's designed to integrate, not just haul stuff, but actually elevate different parts of your life.
Okay, so where do we start? I think connectivity and data privacy is a huge one these days. Because let's be honest, your truck knows a surprising amount about you. Reading connectivity and digital ecosystem, protecting your data and staying connected. Right, let's pull back that curtain then. Vehicle data privacy. What exactly is the Maverick collecting? People might be genuinely surprised.
Oh, they definitely might be. Modern vehicles, the 25 Maverick included, have these electronic control units, ECUs, and they're constantly collecting and storing data.
And not just like speed or fuel level.
No, much more. It covers the vehicle's health, its maintenance needs, specific events that happen, even malfunctions. It's quite comprehensive.
Okay, but why should the average person care? I mean, okay, it stores my radio presets, fine. But Ford using service data to offer products?
Yeah.
What's the real-world implication there?
That's a fair question. It's about understanding your digital footprint. Take service data. That's diagnostics, engine performance, throttle, steering, brakes. Ford and service places use this for diagnosis, sure, and vehicle improvement.
Right.
But they might also combine that with your contact info to offer you, products or services in that data. It might even be shared with part suppliers to help them figure out malfunctions.
Okay, so it goes beyond just fixing the truck.
It can. Then you've got event data, like a little log of errors or specific things that happened, usually reset after service. And settings data, that's just, all your preferences, climate, seats, that sort of thing.
Okay, got it. Diagnostics, events, preferences. But what about this connected vehicle data? That sounds like it's dialing home.
It kind of is, yeah. The Maverick has a built-in modem with its own SIM card. It's actually enabled right when the vehicle is built.
From the factory?
From the factory. And this modem periodically messages the cellular network. It stays connected, gets software updates automatically, and sends vehicle info back to Ford like diagnostic data.
What kind of info?
Things that identify your specific vehicle, the SIM card, the modem serial number. And it's worth remembering, your actual cell phone network provider might see extra stuff too, like which cell tower your truck is connecting to.
Wow. So unless you actively do something, it's just chatting away on the network. That feels like a big aha moment for people. How do you actually take control?
Exactly. That modem keeps sending info unless you specifically disable it or stop it from sharing vehicle data.
So you can disable it? How?
Yeah. You go into the touchscreen, settings, then connectivity, then connected vehicle features, and right there you'll find the switch for vehicle connectivity on or off.
Okay, that's crucial info. Settings, connectivity, connected vehicle features. Got it.
It really highlights that trade-off, right? Convenience, like remote start, over-the-air updates versus data sharing. If you want the full detailed privacy policy, www.fordconnect.com is the place to go, or your local Ford site.
Good resource. Now, beyond the truck's own data, what happens when you plug in your phone?
Right.
Or connect via Bluetooth?
Right, mobile devices. When you connect your phone, you can display music, album art, all that. But the system also builds a profile linked to that phone.
A profile? What's in that?
It can include your phone book contacts, your text messages, both read and unread, and your call history. Even calls made when the phone wasn't actively connected at that moment.
Whoa, okay. Even text and call history.
Yeah. And get this. Mobile apps on your phone can also share vehicle data back to Ford. Things like your VIN, the SYNC module serial number, odometer reading, which apps you use, usage stats, even debugging info.
That's a lot of connection points.
It is. And then, of course, there's specific emergency call system data if that system is activated. It all just underscores how important it is to be aware and know how to configure these things if privacy is a concern for you.
Definitely makes you think about the whole digital ecosystem your vehicle is part of. Okay, moving from data collection to interaction. Let's talk voice control. The Maverick has both the Ford Assistant and Alexa built in. How do these work? Are they separate things or do they work together?
They're distinct but complementary. The Ford Assistant is really tailored for controlling vehicle features using natural conversational language.
How do you activate it?
You can set a wake word, like, okay, Ford, or whatever you choose, or just press the voice button on the steering wheel, then give your command.
And you mentioned customization.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible. You can turn the wake word listening on or off entirely. You pick your wake word from a list. There's an advanced mode toggle that usually means less confirmation back from the system. And you can even enable or disable phone confirmation prompts, all in the settings menu.
I bet sometimes people struggle. The system doesn't understand them. Any tips for making it work better? Those little frustrations can be annoying.
Absolutely. Common things are speaking too soon after pressing the button before it's really listening. Or sometimes with music, it might struggle with unusual track or artist names, especially over Bluetooth, or names with special characters. Just being aware of those things, maybe speaking a bit more clearly or trying slightly different phrasing, can help.
Good tips. Now, what about Alexa built in? That sounds like it brings a whole different world into the truck.
It really does. Once you sign into your Amazon account through the truck's screen, Alexa built-in opens up a much broader range of functions.
Like what? Beyond just music or weather?
Oh, yeah. Entertainment, hands-free calling, traffic and navigation, sure. But crucially, it can also do vehicle controls, adjust the climate, fan speed, stuff like that. And maybe the biggest one for some, it can control your smart home devices.
Wait, really? Control my house lights from the truck?
Exactly. Turn on lights, adjust the thermostat, check if the garage door is closed, all while you're driving home. Plus, standard Alexa stuff like weather, news, adding to shopping lists.
How do you talk to Alexa? Same way.
Similar, you can just say the wake word Alexa, or press the voice button on the steering wheel and then say Alexa.
Controlling your smart home from the driver's seat. That's a genuine deep dive feature. That's real integration, not just infotainment.
It really is. It bridges your connected life outside the vehicle with your time inside it. And you can easily sign in or out of your Alexa account via the touchscreen settings, so you're always in control of that connection.
Okay, sticking with connectivity. The Maverick can actually be the internet source, right? Like a mobile hotspot?
Yeah, exactly. It can be configured to act as a Wi-Fi hotspot, providing data access to devices, laptops, tablets, phones inside, and even just around the vehicle.
Does that just work? Or do you need something extra?
You do need a separate data plan for it. You'd typically activate that through the vehicle's network carrier, AT&T, Verizon, whoever they partner with.
Right. And setting it up, is it straightforward? Are there any, hidden settings we should know about, those configuration things people miss?
Setup is usually pretty simple. You connect a device to the truck's Wi-Fi network name, and the carrier's activation website should pop up automatically on your device. Follow the instructions there.
Okay. But any deep dive settings?
Yes. Here's one that can definitely trip people up. In the settings menu, under settings, vehicle hotspot settings, you can change the hotspot name and password, obviously, but you can also change the hotspot frequency band, usually between 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz.
Why does that matter?
Because not all devices support both bands. Especially older ones might only work on 2.4 gigahertz. If you have it set to 5 gigahertz only and your device doesn't support it, it just won't connect. You won't even see the network sometimes. Knowing you can change that band is a key troubleshooting step.
Ah, okay, that's a really practical tip. What about other connection problems? Slow speeds, things like that?
Usual culprits apply. Weak network signal where you are. Maybe you type the password wrong. Sometimes the network might be set to hidden. Or if you're in a garage with the door closed, that can physically block the signal. Slow downloads. Could be network congestion or just the carrier speeds in that area.
So the takeaway is, your truck isn't just using data. It can be a powerful, configurable mobile internet hub. Knowing those settings makes a difference.
Precisely. It's another layer of capability. 2. Advanced driving dynamics and off-road prowess. Mastering the terrain.
Okay, let's shift gears literally, perhaps, and talk driving dynamics. On-road, off-road. The Maverick has selectable drive modes, and you mentioned that these are more than just, changing the dashboard graphic. They really change how the truck behaves.
Oh, absolutely. These aren't just cosmetic. They genuinely alter various electrical and mechanical systems, reconfiguring the vehicle for specific situations. Let's take eco mode.
Right, for fuel saving, softer throttle.
Yes, but it goes deeper. It actually makes the adaptive cruise control slower to accelerate back up to your set speed after traffic clears. It makes the auto start-stop system engage more often. And interestingly, it can even decrease the air conditioning output slightly when the AC is in auto mode, all to conserve energy.
Wow, okay. That's quite a few subtle changes working together. Now, what about getting off the pavement? The off-road mode on the FX4 and trimmer trims, that sounds specialized.
It is definitely specialized. It lowers the accelerator responsiveness for finer control at low speeds. It also delays transmission upshifts, keeping you in lower gears longer for more torque and control in tricky terrain.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Here's the really unique part, the deep dive aspect.
Yeah.
The traction and stability control systems are specifically tuned in this mode to allow the wheels to spin more than they would in normal mode.
Wait, it lets the wheels spin. Isn't that usually what traction control tries to stop?
Exactly. In normal driving, yes. But off-road, particularly in mud, sand, or snow, sometimes you need controlled wheel spin to maintain momentum or to clear debris from the tire treads to find traction. So the system allows for that intentionally. It's not a fault. It's a feature for off-road performance.
That's fascinating, and probably counterintuitive for a lot of drivers.
It can be. Also in off-road mode, auto start-stop is deactivated, and the default four-wheel drive setting is 4WD lock engaged.
Okay, but there must be a big warning label with this mode, right? Allowing wheel spin, locked, 4WD.
Absolutely. A huge warning. Off-road mode is strictly for off-road use only. Using it on dry pavement or even packed snow or ice can cause severe driveline bindup. Imagine the front and rear axles trying to turn at different speeds during a turn, but they're locked together. That puts immense stress on the components and can lead to serious, expensive damage. Knowing when not to use this mode is critical.
Got it. Off-road means off-road. What about tow haul mode? What's the magic there for pulling loads?
Tow haul optimizes the powertrain and steering for towing. It adjusts the transmission's shift points, making it upshift at higher engine speeds. This reduces how often the transmission needs to shift when under load.
Keeps it in the power band longer.
Exactly. And crucially, it provides downshift engine braking. When you're going downhill, it will automatically downshift to help maintain speed without you having to ride the brakes constantly. It also enhances steering response for better control with the trailer, and it inhibits the auto start-stop system.
How do you actually pick these modes? Is it a dial? Buttons?
Yeah.
And do they stay selected?
Usually there are buttons on the steering wheel or center console. The first press typically brings up a menu on the instrument cluster, and then subsequent presses cycle through the available modes. Normal, eco, tow haul, slippery, off-road, depending on the trim.
And when you restart the truck?
It defaults back to normal mode each time you start the vehicle. However, it's clever. It will often prompt you with a message asking if you want to return to the last selected mode, like off-road or tow haul, if you were just using it. It remembers, but makes you confirm.
So these modes aren't just labels. They're deep adjustments to the truck's core behavior.
Profound changes, tailored for specific tasks.
Okay, staying with off-road tech, the Maverick offers trail control and something even more specific called Trail 1 pedal drive. This sounds like cruise control for really rough terrain, but what's the deep dive here? How does it really work?
Trail control is essentially that, a low-speed off-road cruise control. You set a desired speed, typically very low, like a few miles per hour, and the system manages the throttle and the individual wheel braking to maintain that speed over obstacles, uphills, downhills. It lets you focus purely on steering.
Okay, that sounds useful. But what's this Trail 1 pedal drive sub-feature? That name is intriguing.
It's a really unique refinement within trail control. When Trail 1 pedal drive is active, here's the kicker. Shifting into drive or reverse doesn't make the vehicle move on its own, like a normal automatic creep.
No creep. How do you move then?
You use the accelerator to move forward, as usual, but for braking, you can press the brake pedal to increase the braking force, and here's the clever part. Pressing the brake doesn't disengage the system. It allows for incredibly fine modulation of speed using both pedals, primarily the accelerator for forward motion and the brake for slowing down more assertively, without canceling the overall trail control function.
Wow, that's very different. So brake doesn't cancel it. Any other quirks?
Yes, another interesting aspect. Trail 1 pedal drive might automatically apply the electronic parking brake when the vehicle comes to a stop and isn't in park, providing extra stability on steep slopes.
That's seriously high-level control for technical terrain. But it sounds like something you shouldn't just use anywhere. What are the big warnings?
Absolutely critical precautions. Trail 1 pedal drive should only be used on slippery or loose surfaces. Think mud, sand, rocks, snow. Using it on dry, hard pavement can cause unpleasant vibrations, potential driveline bind-up, and excessive wear on tires and components. It's specifically designed for challenging off-road situations, simplifying maneuvers that would otherwise demand expert two-footed driving skills.
Got it. A specialized tool for a specialized job. Okay, another gravity-related helper, hill descent control. Similar idea to trail control, but specifically for going downhill.
Yes, exactly. Hill descent control lets you set and maintain a specific low speed while descending steep slopes, regardless of surface conditions. It automatically applies the brakes as needed to keep you at that target speed.
What speeds does it work at? And are there limits?
It functions within a specific range, typically between about 3 and 32 kilometers per hour, or 2 to 20 miles per hour. If your speed goes above that 32-kilometer mark, the system stays on, but it can't maintain the set speed. And importantly, it doesn't function below 3-kilometer.
What if you're on a really long, steep hill?
Mm-hmm.
Can it overheat the brakes or something?
That's a key point. The system does have thermal limits. After a period of sustained use, especially on a very steep grade, the system might need a cool-down interval.
How do you know?
The message center in the instrument cluster will display a warning when the system is about to disengage for cooling. That's your cue that you need to be ready to manually apply the brakes yourself to control your descent speed. The time it takes depends on the conditions, obviously.
It's like a very specialized low-speed cruise control for downhills, but you need to be aware it might need to take a break.
Exactly. Great tool, but requires driver awareness.
Let's talk traction. We've got all-wheel drive, AWD, and on some models, a rear differential lock. These sound like they should handle anything, but there are probably some critical differences in usage rules, right? Especially those don't do this rules.
Absolutely critical differences. First, the standard all-wheel drive system, which most Mavericks will have, is designed to continuously monitor conditions and automatically adjust power delivery between the front and rear wheels. It optimizes traction and handling on various surfaces, like wet roads or light snow.
So it's automatic, mostly for on-road or light-duty stuff.
Yes, and Ford is quite clear. The standard AWD system is not intended for heavy off-road use. They state it provides limited capability on surfaces that are relatively level, free of obstructions, and similar to normal on-road conditions. Using it in more demanding off-road situations could stress the system and potentially lead to damage that might not be covered by warranty.
Okay, that's a really important distinction for owners. What about the 4WD lock feature mentioned with the off-road mode?
Right. The 4WD lock function, available on certain trims or within specific modes like off-road, effectively locks the power split between the front and rear axles, forcing them to turn at the same speed. This provides maximum traction in very low grip situations. When it's active, you'll see an indicator light up in the cluster.
But again, warning labels.
Big warning label. 4WD lock is not intended for use on dry pavement. Using it on surfaces with good grip, especially during turns, will cause that driveline bind-up we talked about, leading to noise, excessive tire wear, and potential damage.
Okay, so 4WD lock is for loose surfaces only. Now, what about the rear differential lock? How is that different?
The rear differential lock, if your Maverick is equipped with it, goes a step further. It locks the two rear wheels together, forcing them to turn at the exact same speed.
Why would you need that?
This provides maximum traction in really challenging situations, like if one rear wheel is on slippery mud or ice and the other is on a surface with more grip. Normally, the differential would let the slippery wheel spin uselessly. Locking it forces both wheels to turn, potentially pulling you out.
So it's for getting unstuck or climbing really tough obstacles.
Exactly. You activate it with a button, usually on the drive mode controller. It typically only works below a certain speed and disengages automatically above that speed, then re-engages when you slow down.
And the crucial when not to use it rule.
Same as 4WD lock, but even more critical. The rear differential lock is intended only for use in mud, rocks, sand, or other off-road conditions where maximum traction is absolutely needed. It is absolutely not for use on dry pavement. Using it on pavement will severely hinder turning, cause tire scrubbing, and put immense stress on the axle.
Got it. So regular AWD for general conditions, 4WD lock for slippery stuff, rear diff lock for extreme off-road or getting unstuck. And never use lock modes on pavement. Any other key takeaways on traction?
Just a reminder, AWD helps you accelerate better in low traction, but it does not help you stop faster. Always drive at a safe speed for the conditions. And using mismatched tire sizes on an AWD vehicle is a big no-no. It can damage the system. Understanding these distinctions is key to using the systems effectively and safely, and avoiding expensive repairs. 3. Intelligent safety and driver assistance systems. Your co-pilot on the road.
Okay, let's pivot to safety systems. The Maverick features something called the Personal Safety System. Ford says it's advanced, designed to reduce airbag injuries. How does it go beyond just basic airbags? What makes it intelligent?
It's intelligent because it's adaptive. It's not just a simple crash-detected deploy-everything system. It uses a network of sensors to analyze occupant conditions like the driver's seat position, the passenger's weight, whether seat belts are fastened, and also the severity of the crash itself.
And based on that analysis,
Based on that split-second analysis, the restraints control module makes decisions. It might deploy the seatbelt pretensioners first to tighten the belts. Then it decides whether to deploy the dual-stage airbags, and importantly, which stage to deploy a lower output stage for a less severe crash, or a higher output stage for a more severe one. It tailors the response.
so it's really trying to optimize protection for the specific situation. What are some of the key components that enable this?
It's a whole suite working together. You've got the dual-stage airbags, obviously, seatbelts with pretensioners, and also energy management retractors that allow a controlled release of the belt after initial tightening to reduce force on the occupant. There are seatbelt usage sensors, driver and passenger seat position sensors, a sophisticated front passenger sensing system.
What does that do?
That system can actually determine if the front passenger seat is empty, if there's a child restraint system present, or even if a passenger has taken their weight off the seat for a period. In those cases, it can automatically disable the passenger frontal airbag to prevent unnecessary deployment or potential injury to a child. You'll see indicator lights telling you if the passenger airbag is on or off.
Wow, that's really smart.
It is. Add in front crash severity sensors, the main restraints control module with its own impact sensors, warning lights and tones, and all the wiring connecting it. It's a complex, intelligent system. It really highlights why being seated properly and wearing your seatbelt correctly is so crucial for the system to work effectively.
Now, here's a feature that addresses a really critical safety concern, especially for parents and caregivers. The rear occupant alert system, designed to prevent accidentally leaving someone in the back seat. How does this system work, and what are its nuances?
This system is designed to remind you to check the rear seats when you turn off the ignition, based on monitoring certain vehicle conditions.
What conditions does it monitor? How does it know someone might be back there?
It uses a clever logic. It monitors two main things: whether any of the rear seatbelt buckles have been fastened and unfastened during the trip, and whether either of the rear doors has been opened and closed before or during the trip.
Okay, so belt use or door use. What if you have a child seat installed, where you might not buckle the main seatbelt every time?
Good point, and the system accounts for that. There's a setting you can choose called Child Seat Installed. If you select that, the system only monitors the opening and closing of the rear doors as the trigger condition. It makes it less likely to give you unnecessary alerts if you just tossed a bag in the back using the seatbelt.
Smart. So when those conditions are met, what happens when you turn the truck off?
When you switch off the ignition after one of those trigger conditions has occurred, a message will pop up on the center display prompting you to check the rear seats, and an audible warning chime will sound inside the vehicle.
Are there situations where it might not alert you, even if someone is back there?
Yes, it's important to understand its limitations. For example, if a rear occupant got in through a front door and then climbed into the back without opening a rear door or using a rear seatbelt, the system might not register their presence and wouldn't trigger an alert. It's a reminder system, not foolproof detection.
Okay. And can you customize the alert? Make it louder? Or turn it off if you don't have kids?
You can. In the Settings, Menu Settings, Vehicle Rear Occupant Alert, you have choices. The default is Alert Only, which gives you the message and the interior chime. You can choose Alert and Horn, which adds a second layer, or you can switch it off.
What's the second layer with the horn?
If you choose Alert and Horn, first you get the standard message and chime. Then, if you open and close the driver's door without opening a rear door within a short period, the vehicle's horn will sound for a short time as an extra louder reminder.
Okay, that's a pretty insistent reminder. A valuable, multi-layered system for a critical safety issue.
Definitely. Customizable and designed to get your attention.
All right, moving on to what feels like the most advanced driver assist tech. The suite, including adaptive cruise control with stop and go, lane centering, and predictive speed assist. This sounds like it practically drives itself sometimes.
It's certainly a very high level of assistance using radar and cameras extensively. Let's break it down. Adaptive cruise control with stop and go is more than just maintaining speed. It maintains a set following gap to the vehicle ahead.
And the stop and go part.
That means it can follow the vehicle ahead all the way down to a complete stop in traffic, and then if the stop is brief, it can automatically resume following when the vehicle ahead starts moving again. If the stop is longer, a tap on the resume button or accelerator gets it going again.
That alone is huge for traffic jams. But then there's lane centering. How does that work? Is it just nudging you back if you drift?
No, lane centering is more active than that. It uses the front radar, the windshield camera, and steering sensors to apply continuous, subtle steering adjustments to actively keep your vehicle centered within the detected lane markings. It's not just correcting drifts, it's proactively steering.
Continuous steering. Okay. But you still have to drive right. Hands on the wheel.
Absolutely critical. You must keep your hands on the steering wheel at all times. The system will detect if you don't and warn you. It's a hands-on assistance feature, not autonomous driving. You can always override it easily just by steering normally.
Okay, hands on the wheel. What happens if the system encounters something it can't handle, like the lane markings disappear, or if someone ignores the hands-on wheel warning? This is where it gets really advanced, I hear.
This is a crucial safety protocol. If external conditions cause the system to cancel, maybe the lane lines fade out or the weather gets too bad, it gives you an audible warning and a message. But here's the really interesting part. If the system cancels and it detects your hands are not on the steering wheel, it escalates.
Escalates how?
It first gives you immediate visual and audible alerts demanding you take control. If you ignore those alerts, the system takes drastic action. It will quickly apply and release the brakes noticeably, activate the hazard warning lights, and then slow the vehicle down to a controlled stop within its current lane.
Wow. It stops the truck in the lane if you don't respond.
Yes. It's a significant safety intervention designed to handle driver disengagement. Once stopped, you'd need to press the accelerator to resume driving.
That's intense and impressive. What are the third part, predictive speed assist?
Predictive speed assist uses the navigation system's map data. As you approach curves in the road or even some intersections when adaptive cruise is active, it can automatically adjust your set speed slightly for a smoother, more comfortable transition through the curve.
So it anticipates the road ahead. Can you turn these features off if you just want regular cruise control?
Yes, you can typically switch between adaptive cruise and normal cruise control through the vehicle settings or menus. And it's important to note the limitations lane centering might struggle in high crosswinds on very uneven roads with heavy loads or incorrect tire pressures. But overall, this suite is a powerful co-pilot.
Towing again blind spots are a huge issue. The Maverick's blind spot assist with trailer coverage sounds like a lifesaver. How exactly does the trailer coverage part work? That's the unique bit.
It's a major safety upgrade for towing. The standard blind spot information system, BLIS, detects vehicles in your immediate blind spots, but the trailer coverage feature extends that detection zone significantly when you've properly connected and configured a supported conventional trailer.
Conventional meaning not a fifth wheel or gooseneck.
Exactly. Only conventional trailers. When it's set up, the system's detection radar beams extend rearward from your truck's exterior mirrors all the way to the end of your trailer on both sides.
So it's seeing along the entire length of the trailer.
Precisely. It creates a much larger monitored zone covering the blind spot created by the trailer itself.
And does it just give a warning light, or does it do more? I think I saw assist in the name.
Good catch. It does more. If you activate your turn signal to change lanes and the system detects a vehicle in that extended trailer blind spot, it will provide the usual visual warning in the mirror, plus it can apply gentle steering assistance to help nudge your vehicle back into your current lane, discouraging the unsafe lane change.
Okay, active steering assist while towing. That's significant. What are the catches? The limitations or setup needs?
Key limitations. As mentioned, it only works with conventional trailers. If you select fifth wheel or gooseneck in the trailer setup menu, the trailer coverage part turns off. Also, the system will be disabled and show a message if you attach a trailer but haven't gone through the setup process in the vehicle's menu to tell it the trailer's dimensions. Proper configuration is essential. And like any radar system, it might not detect vehicles that approach extremely quickly. But for normal traffic flow, it's a huge benefit.
Reversing is another high-stress situation, especially in busy parking lots. Cross-traffic alert with braking. Again, the braking part sounds like more than just a beep.
It is. The standard cross-traffic alert system warns you of vehicles approaching from the sides when you're backing out of a parking space or driveway. It uses rear-facing radar sensors.
Right. Many cars have that now. What's the upgrade here?
The upgrade is active braking. If the system gives you an initial alert, beeps and a message, but you continue to reverse and the system still detects an approaching vehicle or object that poses a collision risk, it is designed to automatically apply the brakes to try and prevent or mitigate the collision.
It hits the brakes for you. Wow.
Yes, you'll get a message in the instrument cluster when this automatic braking occurs.
Can you override it, like if you see the object and know you can clear it, or if it brakes unexpectedly?
Yes, you can override the automatic braking by firmly pressing the accelerator pedal. That gives you ultimate control.
Good to know. What are the limitations? Things that might cause false alarms or prevent it from working?
Several things. You might get unexpected or unwanted braking sometimes, maybe due to complex environments. Add-on devices blocking the rear bumper sensors like big trailer hitches, bike racks, even some bumper covers can definitely interfere with detection or cause false alerts. Damage to the bumper that misaligns the sensors is also a problem.
Makes sense. What about speeds or angles?
The system has operational limits. It might not detect objects moving slower than about 8 km, 5 mph, or faster than 60 km, 37 mph, and your own reverse speed shouldn't exceed about 12 km, 7 mph. Also, it may not work correctly when backing out of an angled parking space due to the sensor angles. So it's a fantastic safety net, but not infallible.
Well, let's talk about looking forward. Pre-collision assist. This bundles forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, and evasive steering assist. Sounds like a comprehensive front-end protection system.
It is. It uses both the forward-facing radar, usually behind the grille or lower bumper, and the camera behind the windshield, to constantly scan the road ahead for potential collision risks with other vehicles or pedestrians.
How does it react when it detects a risk?
It's a multi-stage approach. First, forward collision warning will typically give you visual alerts, lights flashing on the windshield or dash, and audible warnings if it thinks a collision is becoming likely. If you don't react to the warnings and a collision becomes imminent, automatic emergency braking, AEB, may activate.
Meaning it applies the brakes automatically.
Yes, it can apply the brakes quite strongly to try and avoid the crash, or at the very least, significantly reduce the impact speed and severity.
Now, a crucial question. Can AEB prevent all crashes? And should you, try it out in a parking lot?
Extremely important points. No, AEB cannot prevent all crashes.
Yeah.
Road conditions, speed differences, driver actions can all affect the outcome. And absolutely do not try to test the system yourself. Ford and other manufacturers are very clear on this. AEB testing requires specialized equipment in controlled environments. It's a safety net, not something to rely on instead of attentive driving and normal braking.
Okay, don't test it. What's the third component? Evasive steering assist.
Evasive steering assist comes into play if AEB determines it cannot avoid the collision by braking alone, but there might be space to steer around the obstacle. If you initiate an evasive steering maneuver, the system can provide additional steering torque, making it easier and quicker for you to steer around the hazard. It helps you execute the maneuver you intended.
Interesting. What are the big limitations or caveats for this whole pre-collision assist system?
A few key ones. The system is primarily designed for vehicles and pedestrians. It does not typically detect animals. Performance can be reduced if your truck is heavily loaded or if you're towing a trailer due to the altered dynamics. And like all camera and radar systems, if the sensors or the camera lens are blocked by snow, ice, mud, heavy rain, fog, or even damage to the windshield in front of the camera, the system's performance will be reduced, or it might not function at all.
Can you turn it off or adjust sensitivity?
Yes, you can usually adjust the sensitivity settings, like how early the forward collision warning alerts you, and even switch the entire pre-collision assist system on or off via the touchscreen menus. However, the automatic emergency braking portion typically defaults to being on every time you start the vehicle. Understanding these capabilities and limitations is key to being an informed driver.
Finally, in this safety suite, a couple of more subtle aids. Speed sign recognition and driver alert. How do these help out?
They're both about providing timely information. Speed sign recognition uses that forward-facing camera to read speed limit signs along the road. When it recognizes one, it displays the detected speed limit right there in your instrument cluster.
Does it use GPS data too?
Yes, if your vehicle is equipped with navigation, the system often combines the camera recognition with map data, which can sometimes provide speed limit info even if a sign isn't visible or is missed.
What are the limitations? Can it get confused?
Oh, definitely. It might struggle in construction zones with temporary signs, or if the map data is outdated. It can sometimes misread signs on adjacent roads or exit ramps, and obviously signs that are faded, dirty, damaged, or partially obscured can be hard for the camera to read correctly. So it's a helpful aid, but you still need to pay attention.
Makes sense. And driver alert, how does it know if I'm getting drowsy?
Driver Alert monitors your driving pattern over time, looking for things like erratic steering inputs or lane deviations that are characteristic of drowsy driving. If it detects patterns suggesting your attentiveness is decreasing, it will provide visual and audible alerts recommending you take a break. You can usually switch this feature on or off in the settings.
So subtle helpers, but valuable for long drives or unfamiliar roads.
Exactly. Contributing to overall awareness and safety. 4. Convenience and practicality innovations. Life made easier.
Okay, let's shift from safety to convenience. Keyless entry sounds simple, unlock without the key. But I hear there's a specific way to use the handles on the Maverick that can trip people up if they don't know the trick.
Yes, the interaction is precise. It works great once you know it. To unlock, your key fob just needs to be nearby, within about a meter or 3 feet. Then you touch the sensor on the back of the door handle for just a brief moment, and then you pull the handle.
So touch, then pull, not just grab and pull.
Correct. If you just grab and pull immediately, it might not have time to authenticate the key. Also, be careful not to accidentally touch the lock sensor on the outer part of the handle at the same time.
Okay, touch the back, wait a beat, then pull. How about locking?
Locking is simpler. With the key still nearby, just touch the separate lock sensor, usually a small ridge or indentation on the outer surface of the door handle, for about 1 second. You'll often hear the locks engage or see the lights flash. You can immediately pull the handle after touching the lock sensor just to confirm it's locked without it unlocking again.
Good tip. Now what's this mislock feature? Something about the horn honking.
Right. The mislock alert gives you feedback. If you press the lock button once on your remote control, the turn signals normally flash to confirm, but they won't flash if any door, the liftgate, or the hood is still open.
Okay, no flash means something's open.
Exactly. And if you press the lock button twice within 3 seconds, the horn will sound if any of those things, door, liftgate, hood, are open. It's an audible warning that the vehicle isn't fully secured. You can actually turn this horn honk part of the mislock alert on or off in the vehicle settings menu, usually under Settings Vehicle Locks.
So knowing that sequence, touch then pull to unlock, touch and hold outer sensor to lock, and understanding the no flash horn honk mislock can prevent a lot of fumbling and give you confidence it's secure.
Exactly. Little details that make a big difference in daily use.
The truck's tailgate seems pretty basic, open or closed, but the Maverick's tailgate has some tricks up its sleeve, particularly this unique middle position. What's that all about, and how do you actually set it up? This sounds like a real deep dive feature.
It really is a standout utility feature. The middle position essentially turns the tailgate into a partial bed extender, creating a level surface that's higher than the load floor but lower than the bed rails. It's perfect for supporting longer items, like sheets of plywood or lumber, that extend over the tailgate.
Okay, how do you get it into that position? Is it complicated?
It's a manual process, but straightforward once you know the steps. First, you open the tailgate fully. Then you need to lift it up slightly to create some slack in the support cables on each side. There are pull tabs on the cable connectors. You use those to unlock the clip, move the clip past the support screw head on the truck body, and disconnect the cable.
So you disconnect the main support cables?
Yes. Then you take those disconnected cables and hook them onto secondary attachment points, the tailgate strikers, which are located a bit higher up on the side of the tailgate opening. This holds the tailgate at that halfway angle.
Are there any critical safety things to remember when doing this or using it?
Absolutely. When using the middle position, you must attach both cables to the strikers. And there's also often a specific safety bracket that needs to be correctly attached for support and stability. Check your owner's manual for the exact procedure. The maximum load capacity in this middle position is specified usually around 226 kilograms or 500 pounds, and that load must be evenly distributed, supported by the wheelhouses inside the bed and the tailgate itself.
And a big don't.
A crucial don't. You should not attempt to close the tailgate while the cables are attached to those higher striker points. Trying to force it closed could damage the cables, the strikers, or the tailgate itself.
Got it. What if you need to take the tailgate off completely? Any special considerations there?
Yes. First, it's reasonably heavy, about 25 kilograms or 55 pounds, so get help if needed. Second, and this is critical, you must use a specific tailgate removal kit that includes protective caps for the electrical connectors, if your tailgate has power features like a lock or camera. These caps prevent dirt, water, and damage to the exposed electrical connections on the truck body. Ford warns that failing to use these caps could cause electrical system damage not covered by warranty.
Wow. Okay, so that little kit with caps is essential if you ever remove the tailgate. This tailgate versatility is great, but definitely requires knowing the procedures.
Exactly. Huge utility, but needs to be used correctly for safety and to avoid damage.
Power on the go is almost essential now. The Maverick offers 120V power outlets and a wireless accessory charger. What are the deep dive details and, more importantly, the precautions users need to be aware of? Let's start with the 120V outlets.
These outlets are super handy for charging tools, laptops, small appliances. They typically provide up to 400 watts of power.
Is that always 400 watts?
Here's the nuance. That 400 watts is usually available when the vehicle is in torque, by AT. The wattage may be reduced when the vehicle is shifted into drive, D. That's a subtle but important detail if you're trying to power something while driving. Also, if you're using multiple outlets simultaneously, if equipped, that total 400 watts or reduced wattage in drive is divided between them.
Okay, variable wattage. What else limits it?
The outlets will turn off automatically if you switch off the ignition, or if the vehicle's main battery voltage drops below a certain level, usually around 11 volts, to protect the battery. And the standard warnings apply strongly here. Do not exceed the maximum power rating listed, usually 400W. Don't use high wattage appliances like heaters or hair dryers, and avoid using extension cords or power strips, as overloading the circuit could cause fuses to blow, damage the system, or even pose a fire risk.
Right, treat it with respect. Now, the wireless accessory charger in the console, super convenient, but I hear there's some significant warnings.
Yes, very important precautions here involving both personal safety and protecting your devices. First, the big one. Wireless charging systems generate electromagnetic fields which can affect the operation of implanted medical devices, including cardiac pacemakers. Anyone with such a device should consult their physician before using the charger or even being in close proximity to it during operation.
That's a critical health warning. What about objects on the charging pad?
This is crucial too. You must remove all metal objects from the charging surface before placing your phone down. Things like coins, keys, metal phone grips, even foil wrappers. Metal objects can heat up considerably during the charging process due to induction, potentially causing burns if touched, or damaging the phone or the charger itself. Performance will also degrade, causing interruptions.
Okay, no metal. What about things like credit cards?
Good question. You should also avoid placing items with a magnetic strip or an RFID chip near the charging area. This includes things like passports, parking tickets, building access cards, and yes, credit cards. The magnetic fields could potentially damage the data stored on those strips or chips.
So clear the pad completely, check for medical device interactions. How does it work otherwise?
Pretty simply. Place your compatible device flat on the center of the charging pad, charging side down. An indicator light usually confirms charging has started. It will stop automatically once the device is fully charged. It generally works when the vehicle is in accessory mode, when the engine is running, or whenever the main touchscreen is on. Keep in mind that thick phone cases, especially those with metal or magnets, can interfere with charging and might need to be removed.
Lots of crucial safety and usage tips packed into those power features. For our listeners in colder climates, the engine block heater can be a lifesaver on frigid mornings. It warms the engine coolant. But what's the deep dive on using it most effectively and, more importantly, safely? There seem to be some very specific rules.
Yes, the engine block heater is fantastic for improving cold starts and getting your cabin heat working faster. It's most effective when outdoor temperatures drop below about -18 degrees, 0 degrees out.
How much power does it use, and how long should you leave it plugged in? Is longer always better?
It uses a fair bit of electricity, somewhere between 0.4 and 1.0 kilowatt hours for every hour it's plugged in. And here's the key efficiency tip. The heater reaches its maximum coolant temperature after approximately 3 hours of operation. Leaving it plugged in longer than 3 hours, like overnight, does not improve its performance further and just wastes electricity.
So 3 hours is the magic number. No need for all night. Where do you actually plug it in on the truck?
The plug location can vary slightly by model year or trim, but it's typically found either tucked away under the hood near the front, sometimes integrated into the front fog lamp bezel, or occasionally in the front lower grille area. You'll need to look for the cord end.
Okay. Now, the safety rules. These sound really important. What kind of extension cord do you need?
Extremely important. You must use a heavy-duty 16-gauge or thicker outdoor extension cord. It needs to be product certified by UL or CSA and clearly marked suitable for use with outdoor appliances. Absolutely never use a standard indoor extension cord outdoors, especially in cold, wet conditions.
Grounding is important too, right?
Yes. Do not use the heater with ungrounded electrical systems or those cheap two-pronged cheater adapters. That poses a serious risk of electrical shock. Also, make sure the connection between the extension cord and the heater cord is kept clean, dry, and free of snow or water.
And there's a specific warning about closing the hood.
Yes, a very critical warning. Do not fully close the hood or let it drop under its own weight while the extension cord is running out from under it. Doing so could pinch or damage the power cable, potentially causing an electrical short, which could lead to fire, injury, or property damage. Leave the hood slightly ajar or route the cord carefully through a designated opening if available.
Wow, okay. Don't crush the cord. And always unplug before driving.
Absolutely. Always unplug the extension cord from both the wall and the vehicle and properly stow the heater cord before starting the engine and driving away. Following these specific usage and safety rules is paramount when using an engine block heater.
Many Mavericks come with a hybrid electric vehicle, HEV, powertrain. This brings its own set of operational quirks and nuances that might confuse people used to traditional gasoline engines. Let's demystify some of these. First, starting the vehicle.
Right, the silent key start. When you push the start button in the hybrid Maverick, the gasoline engine may not actually crank or start up right away. That can feel weird at first. Instead, you'll see a green ready indicator light illuminate in the instrument cluster. That light is your confirmation that the vehicle is on and ready to be driven, even if the engine is completely silent because it's prepared to move off using electric power initially.
Okay, so ready light means go, even if it's quiet. What about efficiency? Is the gasoline engine running always a bad sign in a hybrid? People might think it should be in electric mode all the time.
That's a common misconception. It's important for hybrid owners to understand that having the gasoline engine running is not always inefficient. The vehicle's control system is constantly making complex calculations. Sometimes, depending on the battery's state of charge, the power demand, the vehicle speed, or even the need for cabin heat, it's actually more efficient overall for the gasoline engine to be running, perhaps to charge the battery or provide direct power, than it would be to deplete the battery in pure electric mode. The system optimizes automatically.
So trust the computer, basically. What about noises?
You might notice a slight whine or whistle sound, especially at lower speeds or during acceleration or deceleration. This is completely normal. It's the sound of the electric motor and the hybrid system components operating.
Okay. Now, the auto start-stop system. Most people are familiar with this on gasoline cars. But how does it behave differently or maybe more frequently in a hybrid? And why does the engine sometimes restart when you wouldn't expect it to?
The auto start-stop system is even more integral to a hybrid's operation. The engine shuts off much more readily, like when coasting or braking, not just when fully stopped. However, there are specific reasons why the gasoline engine might restart automatically, even if you think it should stay off.
Gotcha.
It will restart if you turn on the heated windshield, if equipped, or switch the climate control to maximum defrost mode, as these draw significant power. It might restart if the vehicle starts rolling downhill while in neutral. Crucially, it will restart if the engine's power is needed to maintain adequate brake system assistance, vacuum boost, or if it needs to run to maintain the desired interior climate control settings or to reduce windshield fogging.
So it's restarting for system needs, not just because you lifted off the brake. Can you turn the system off permanently in the hybrid?
No. Unlike some non-hybrid vehicles where you can temporarily disable auto start-stop for a drive cycle, in the Maverick hybrid and most hybrids, the system cannot be permanently switched off. It's fundamental to achieving the design fuel economy and emissions ratings.
Does all that starting and stopping wear out the engine or starter faster?
That's a valid concern people have. Ford emphasizes that the hybrid vehicles have an enhanced high-voltage battery system and components, including the starter generator, that are specifically designed and engineered to handle the significantly increased number of engine starts inherent in hybrid operation. They're built for it. Understanding these nuances helps hybrid owners appreciate the complex ballet of efficiency happening under the hood.
Let's look at something seemingly simple. The windows. The Maverick has window bounce back and one-touch up-down. What are the key things to know, especially about safety and the common issue of resetting the one-touch feature?
Right, convenience features, but with important aspects. The one-touch up-down is straightforward. A quick full press or lift of the window switch sends the window all the way down or up automatically. Pressing or lifting the switch again stops it partway.
And they work for a bit after you turn the truck off.
Yes, that's the accessory delay. The power window switches usually remain operational for several minutes after you switch off the ignition, or until you open either of the front doors, whichever comes first. Handy if you forget to close a window right away.
Now the safety feature. Window bounce back. How does that work?
This is crucial, especially if you have kids or pets. If the window sensor detects an obstruction, like an arm, or even just something blocking its path while the window is automatically closing, using the one touch-up feature, it will immediately stop closing and automatically reverse direction, opening back down some distance. It helps prevent pinching injuries or damage.
That's a great safety feature. Now the frustrating part. Sometimes that one touch-up feature just stops working, usually after the battery has been disconnected or if there's been a power issue. How do you fix that? That's a classic how-to people search for.
It is a very common issue, and thankfully there's usually a straightforward reset procedure. It requires a specific sequence of actions, typically performed within about 30 seconds.
Okay, walk us through it.
First, manually lift and hold the window control switch until the window is fully closed. Keep holding it for a couple more seconds after it closes.
Lift and holds closed, plus a few seconds.
Okay. Second, release the switch. Third, manually press and hold the switch down until the window is fully open.
Press and hold open. Got it.
Fourth, release the switch. Fifth, lift and hold the switch again until the window is fully closed once more.
Lift and hold closed again.
Exactly. After that fifth step, the one-touch up and down functions should be reset and working again. You can test it with a quick press down and a quick lift up.
That sequence, close hold, close hold, is the key. Knowing that specific procedure can save a lot of annoyance and restore that convenient feature.
Definitely a useful bit of troubleshooting knowledge. Advanced Trailer Management Systems, the ultimate towing companion.
All right, let's tackle the big one for truck owners. Towing. The 2025 Maverick offers some seriously advanced trailer management systems. Let's start with the integrated trailer brake controller. This isn't just any old brake controller, right? It's built in and smart.
Correct. This is a factory-installed or dealer-installed system that's fully integrated with the truck's electrical and braking systems. It's designed to provide much smoother, more stable, and more confident control over your trailer's electric or electric over hydraulic brakes compared to aftermarket units.
How do you actually use it and, more importantly, calibrate it correctly? That gain setting seems crucial, but maybe mysterious to some.
The gain setting is absolutely crucial. It determines how much braking power the controller sends to the trailer brakes when you apply the truck's brakes or use the manual override. It's adjustable, usually from 0, no trailer braking, to 10, maximum trailer braking.
How do you find the right setting for your specific trailer?
Calibration is key. You need to do this with the trailer attached on a level surface, preferably away from traffic. Start driving at a moderate speed, say 30 to 40 kilometers per hour or 20 to 25 miles per hour. Then, while driving straight, manually activate the trailer brakes only by squeezing the controller's manual activation lever or slide.
Squeeze the lever, not hit the truck brakes.
Right, just the trailer brakes, using the controller's lever. Start with a low gain setting and gradually increase it, repeating the process. You want to increase the gain until the trailer's wheels just begin to lock up. You might hear the tires briefly squeal or chirp. Once you find that point, you reduce the gain setting slightly below that lockup point. That's generally your optimal setting.
Okay, find the lockup point, then back off slightly. What if it's a really heavy trailer? Will the wheels always lock up?
Good question. With very heavy trailers, you might not be able to achieve trailer wheel lockup even with the gain set to the maximum of 10. In that case, you just use the maximum setting.
Are there any nuances based on speed? Does it brake the same way at low speeds?
There's a subtle but important feature here. The trailer brake controller is designed to reduce its output automatically at vehicle speeds below about 18 km/h, 11 mph. This helps prevent jerky or harsh braking from the trailer during low-speed maneuvers, like in parking lots. However, this reduction only happens when you apply the brakes using the vehicle's brake pedal. It does not reduce output when you use the manual control lever on the controller itself.
Interesting. And changing the gain doesn't affect the truck's own brakes, right?
Correct. The vehicle's brake system and the trailer brake system, although controlled together, function independently in terms of power. Changing the trailer gain doesn't change how your truck's brakes feel or operate. Also, another integrated feature. The system usually suspends the engine's auto stop-start feature whenever a trailer with electric or electric over-hydraulic brakes is properly connected.
Good to know. What if something goes wrong? Does it give you error messages?
Yes, the system is pretty good at diagnostics. You'll get messages in the instrument cluster display indicating things like trailer connected or trailer disconnected. It can also display messages like trailer wiring fault if it detects an electrical issue in the trailer brake circuit, or trailer battery not charging if there's an issue with the trailer battery charging circuit, if applicable. The owner's manual often has troubleshooting steps to help you figure out if the problem is likely on the truck side or the trailer side.
So this integrated system offers precise calibration and intelligent features well beyond a basic controller.
Absolutely. It's designed for a much safer and smoother towing experience.
Next up in towing tech, trailer hitching assistance. Lining up the truck's hitch ball perfectly under the trailer coupler can be a real pain, especially when you're alone. How does this system make it easier?
It uses the vehicle's rear-view camera system, often combined with some clever software, to provide visual guidelines and sometimes even steering assistance to help you align the hitch ball directly under the trailer coupler. It takes a lot of the guesswork and back and forth out of the process.
Sounds great. Are there any setup requirements or conditions that need to be met before you can even use it? This sounds like a feature people might struggle to activate.
Yes, there are definitely prerequisites. Typically, before you can even switch the system on, the vehicle needs to be positioned within a certain distance range from the trailer. For example, it might need to be within, say, 6 meters, 20 feet of the trailer, but importantly, no closer than perhaps 2 meters, 7 feet. The system needs that space to see the trailer properly and calculate the alignment.
Okay, a specific distance window. What about the trailer itself or the hitch? Does it work with anything?
There are often limitations based on geometry. The system is usually designed to work best with standard drawbars within a certain range of length, say, the distance from the truck's license plate or tailgate surface to the center of the hitch ball might need to be between 26 and 43 centimeters, 17 inches. Similarly, the trailer itself might need to have a measurement from the hitch point to the center of its axle, within a certain range, perhaps 1.83 to 6.1 meters, 620 feet.
Why those specific dimensions?
Because the system's calculations and camera views are calibrated based on typical geometries. Using drawbars or trailers significantly outside these ranges can degrade the system's performance or cause it to function improperly. And crucially, like the backup assist systems we'll discuss next, this often relies on placing a specific sticker target on the trailer tongue for the camera to track accurately. Incorrect sticker placement is a common reason for these systems not working well.
So if you're getting weird messages like maximum controllable trailer angle frequently during hitching assist, it might be the sticker, the distance, or your trailer dimensions are just outside the system sweet spot.
Exactly. Those are the first things to check. This feature is designed to eliminate a major towing frustration, but its effectiveness really depends on meeting those specific setup requirements.
Okay, now for the feature that seems almost like magic to people who tow. Trailer backup assistance and trailer reverse guidance. The idea of steering the trailer with a knob instead of wrestling with the steering wheel. How does that actually work? It feels so counterintuitive.
It is counterintuitive at first, but it's revolutionary once you trust it. Instead of the confusing turn the steering wheel left to make the trailer go right mental gymnastics, you use a dedicated control knob, usually on the dashboard. You simply turn the knob in the direction you want the trailer to go, turn the knob left, the trailer steers left, turn it right, the trailer steers right.
And the truck steering wheel, does it move on its own?
Yes. That's the magic. The system takes your knob input and calculates the precise steering wheel movements needed on the truck to make the trailer follow the path you indicated with the knob. The steering wheel will turn automatically as you back up.
Wow. How does the system know where the trailer is and how it's angled? Is it that sticker again?
It is indeed that sticker again. The system relies heavily on a specific visual target, the sticker that you place on the trailer's A-frame or tongue. The rear-view camera constantly tracks the sticker's position and movement relative to the truck. This is why proper sticker placement and the initial calibration setup process, where you drive forward slowly and make some turns so the system can learn your trailer's geometry, are absolutely critical.
What about camera views? Does it help you see what's going on?
Definitely. The system usually offers multiple helpful camera views on the center display. You can get the standard rear view, maybe a 360-degree overhead view, but the key one is often the trailer reverse guidance view. This view is specifically designed for backing up. It often shows color-coded lines indicating the trailer's predicted path based on your current knob input. And in some versions, the camera view dynamically shifts or pans as the trailer turns, keeping the sides of the trailer visible in the display without you needing to manually adjust the camera angle.
That sounds incredibly helpful. But these systems can be finicky if not set up right. What are the common troubleshooting issues people encounter? What if the trailer drifts or the system doesn't detect the sticker?
Sticker issues are number one. Make sure the sticker is clean, undamaged, and placed exactly according to the instructions in the owner's manual. If you get sticker not detected messages, check the camera lens isn't dirty, check the lighting conditions, and make sure the sticker isn't obscured. Sometimes driving forward a short distance helps the system reacquire the sticker.
What if the trailer isn't backing up straight when you hold the knob steady?
That usually indicates the initial calibration wasn't perfect, or maybe the sticker placement is slightly off. You can compensate by slowly turning the knob slightly left or right to counteract the drift until the trailer tracks straight.
And that stop now, deactivated by trailer angle message. What triggers that consistently?
That means you've reached the physical or system-imposed limit of how sharply the trailer can articulate relative to the truck before risking damage, like jackknifing, or exceeding what the system can control. If you hit this limit, you have to stop, pull forward, and drive to straighten out the truck and trailer, and then try again. If you get this message very easily or frequently, it might suggest your sticker placement is wrong, the system needs recalibration, or potentially that your trailer's drawbar length or overall dimensions fall outside the range the system is designed to handle effectively.
So mastering this amazing feature really hinges on understanding that setup, the sticker, the calibration, and knowing how to troubleshoot those common issues. It transforms a difficult task, but you need to do your homework.
Absolutely. It's probably the most unique and complex feature for the average driver to learn, but the payoff in reduced stress when backing up is huge. 6. Maintenance insights. Beyond the basics for longevity.
Okay, let's wrap up our deep dive with a few crucial maintenance insights that go beyond just changing the oil every 5,000 miles. First, the Intelligent Oil Life Monitor. You mentioned it's dynamic. How does it work? And what really affects that oil life calculation?
Right, it's not just a simple mileage counter. The Intelligent Oil Life Monitor uses sophisticated algorithms that consider various operating conditions, engine temperature, load, RPMs, trip duration, idle time, ambient temperature, and more to calculate the optimal oil change interval for your specific driving habits.
So the interval can vary quite a bit.
Significantly. The system might calculate an interval as long as 1 year or 16,000 kilometers, 10,000 miles, under ideal conditions. And interestingly, for hybrid vehicles, because the gasoline engine runs less often, the calculated interval could even exceed 16,000 kilometers or 10,000 miles.
So when that oil change required message pops up, how quickly should you get it done? And what's the essential step afterward?
When the message appears, Ford generally recommends performing the oil and filter change within about 2 weeks or 800 kilometers, 500 miles. Don't ignore it for too long. And absolutely crucial, you must reset the oil life monitor after the oil change. If you don't reset it, the system won't know fresh oil is in there and will continue counting down from the previous interval, giving you inaccurate warnings later.
Okay, reset is key. Now, the really nuanced part. What kind of driving actually shortens the oil life, potentially leading to increased oil consumption?
Yeah.
This is vital for truck owners who work their vehicles hard.
This is where understanding your usage matters. Certain driving habits put more stress on the oil and can lead to higher oil consumption. This includes extended periods of high engine speeds, like prolonged highway driving at high RPMs, operating under heavy loads like towing or hauling maximum capacity, frequent or heavy engine braking, aggressive driving with hard cornering, or sustained track use or severe off-road operation.
So basically using the truck like a truck.
Pretty much. Under these severe conditions, Ford notes that it's possible for the engine to consume oil at a higher rate, maybe even up to around 1 quart per 800 kilometers, 500 miles, in extreme cases. If your driving falls into these categories, it is vital to manually check your engine oil level at every refueling and top it up as needed to maintain the proper level between changes. Relying solely on the monitor isn't enough if you're consuming oil due to severe use.
Check the dipstick regularly under hard use. Got it. Now, conversely, are there conditions that can actually cause the oil level to increase? That sounds strange.
It does sound strange, but it can happen due to fuel dilution. This is more common with driving patterns involving frequent short trips where the engine never fully warms up, extended periods of idling, or long periods of low-speed driving, like delivery routes in cold weather. In these conditions, small amounts of unburned fuel can sometimes seep past the piston rings and mix with the engine oil.
And that makes the level go up.
Yes, over time, this fuel dilution can gradually increase the oil level on the dipstick. If you consistently notice your oil level reading above the maximum mark, it's a sign you should have the vehicle checked by a technician, as excessive fuel dilution degrades the oil's lubricating properties.
Fascinating. So the oil life monitor is smart, but understanding how your driving affects the oil itself, consumption or dilution, is crucial for engine longevity.
Exactly. It's about partnering with the technology, but also understanding the underlying mechanical realities.
Finally, let's touch on a couple of major drivetrain components, specifically for all-wheel drive models. The power transfer unit, PTU, and the rear axle. Traditionally, these might have required regular fluid changes, but the Maverick seems different. What's the maintenance reality here?
This is a great example of modern engineering and changing maintenance needs, and it often surprises owners used to older vehicles. For the AWD Maverick, both the power transfer unit, which sends power to the rear wheels, and the rear axle assembly itself generally do not require any scheduled maintenance.
No fluid changes listed in the regular maintenance schedule.
Correct. There's typically no recommended interval for changing the lubricant in either the PTU or the rear axle under normal operating conditions. They are often considered filled for life.
Okay, filled for life often comes with an asterisk. When would you potentially need to change the fluid?
The exception is usually under very specific and extreme circumstances. Ford generally states that changing the PTU or rear axle lubricant is only likely necessary if the vehicle has been subjected to extended periods of extreme or severe duty cycle driving, think continuous heavy towing in very hot climates, or maybe competitive off-roading. Even then, it's not automatic. The primary reasons for needing a fluid change would be if the unit has actually been submerged in water, like during a deep water crossing, or if it shows clear signs of leakage.
So unless it's been dunked or is leaking, leave it alone.
Essentially, yes. If you suspect either of those conditions, submersion or leakage, you should definitely have it inspected and serviced by an authorized dealer. But for the vast majority of owners, even those who tow regularly or do moderate off-roading, these components are designed to be maintenance-free regarding fluid changes.
That's a really important piece of counterintuitive information. Saves owners time and money, and prevents unnecessary servicing, but only if they know not to worry about it under normal conditions.
Exactly. It highlights how specialized components and lubricants have become, reducing traditional maintenance burdens, but requiring owners to know when intervention is or isn't actually needed based on specific events.
And that, I think, wraps up our really deep dive into the hidden features and crucial nuances of the 2025 P758 Maverick truck.
We covered a lot of ground, from the surprising depth of its data collection and connectivity through the multi-layered safety systems that actively intervene, the incredibly versatile driving and towing aids,
All the way to those specific maintenance insights, like the oil life factors and the low-maintenance drivetrain components. It's clear this truck is packed with technology that goes way beyond the surface.
It really is engineered to be a capable partner, enhancing safety, convenience, and utility in ways that might not be immediately obvious.
So here's the final thought to leave you with. As our vehicles become these incredibly sophisticated hubs of technology, collecting data, making decisions, actively assisting us, even intervening, how does our role as drivers change?
That's a great question. It's less about just operating the machine, perhaps, and more about understanding its capabilities, its limitations, and knowing how to configure and interact with it effectively.
What new skills or knowledge do we need to cultivate to truly unlock the full potential of these advanced vehicles and to maintain them properly, understanding when to act and when, sometimes not to?
It suggests the deep dive isn't just into the truck's manual, but maybe into our evolving relationship with these increasingly intelligent machines. It's about becoming an informed partner, not just a driver.
Something to definitely think about. We hope this deep dive has armed you with valuable insights and practical tips for the 2025 Maverick.
We encourage you to explore these features, check your settings, and continue your own learning journey.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.